Digital technology has created the ability for people to come together in new and amazing ways. In the book Cognitive Surplus by Clay Shirky, he talks about how this digital technology has allowed smart people to collaborate and create Wikipedia. Hi, I'm David Levins. I started A Kind Voice because I believe there's a surplus of kind energy out there. And whereas one kind act makes a difference, if a whole bunch of kind acts can be brought together, then we can change the world. And that's exactly our mission at A Kind Voice, to make our world a kinder, more connected place, one conversation at a time. I'd like to introduce you to one of the authentic kind voices who have joined us, and he's going to give you the musical version of our mission statement.
Hi, this is Bruce Grammel. I wrote my song, The Alchemy of Kindness, after I became familiar with the organization called A Kind Voice. A Kind Voice is a community of volunteers that provide the opportunity for conversation on a variety of topics. The title is one of their slogans, and the phrase really hits home with me. I hope that you'll enjoy my song, and whether you may be a caller or a future volunteer, I hope you'll take the time to find out more about the wonderful folks at A Kind Voice. The alchemy of kindness is one that we believe. When we reach out to each other, you know we both receive. We're always here for you. We're right beside the phone. When kind voices come together, it seems we're never alone. So if you're reaching out, you know we're reaching too. Pick up the phone, that's all you have to do. Call us now if you need a kind voice. If you need a kind voice. If you got some good news you heard the other day. Maybe you read a good book you finished yesterday. How was that new movie you finally went to see? Is your favorite sports team as good as they should be? If you're feeling down and lonely, a friendly voice is just a call away. Call us now if you need a kind voice. If you need a kind voice. That new class you picked is harder than you thought. You got a good deal on the new car you bought. Your family's not home and your friends are away. Your daughter just called, your grandson took his first steps today. Sometimes we just need someone to talk to. You know we all need someone who listens well. Call us now if you need a kind voice. When you want a kind voice. When you need a kind voice. When you want a kind voice. Call us now if you need a kind voice.
Okay, let's talk about how this all is going to work. At the foundation is this idea that the surplus of kindness exists, and then that it can be brought together into a community of kind voices, and that these kind voices can be accessed by anyone at any time free of charge. On top of this foundation, we've created a synergistic program that is a combination of a radio call-in show and a peer counseling service. We've taken elements from both to create our own specially designed process to connect those with a kind voice with those in need of somebody to talk to. Like radio call-in shows, callers can call us on a whole range of topics, and we ask volunteers to pick topics that they love to talk about so that their natural enthusiasm will shine through during the conversation. Callers call talk radio programs because they also enjoy engaging in conversations about these types of topics. So we're trying to create the circumstances for a symbiotic or mutually beneficial relationship between our callers and our volunteers. It takes at least 2 participants for a kind event to flower, and lots of flowers create beautiful gardens. So using the dynamics of a talk radio program is a way to create a beautiful garden that will attract lots of kind energy. We are different from radio call-in shows in that they exist to entertain an audience. So it's necessary for them to keep things moving and entertaining. We exist to have meaningful one-on-one conversations. We are not professional counselors, but then neither is the guy talking sports on the radio. We understand our niche. We are kind voices who are available to listen and talk one-on-one, free of charge. Our volunteers come from all walks of life. We do have some professional counselors, but we also have teachers and actresses. We have a Marine chaplain. We even have a stand-up comedian. But they all share one thing in common. They're kind people who want to share the kindness in their hearts with a total stranger. So if you imagine the kind person you get to sit next to on a bus, or run next to on a trail, or walk next to on a trail for a little while, then kind of part ways. That's who our kind voice volunteers are. And the spirit of this is beautifully expressed in our next song by Craig Corona.
Things are crazy in these troubled days, and sometimes it seems the only place to turn is away. But in that moment you can throw away the fear, 'cause someone else can be just what you need to hear. With a kind voice, a few kind words, an open ear for when you need to be heard, a warm heart. You can make that choice to find a kind voice. Yes, we're different, look at you and me. Both have questions, both have answers, both have needs. And though most likely we will often disagree, we can just keep talking, maybe find that we can be a kind voice, a few kind words, an open ear for when you need to be heard, a warm heart. We can make that choice to be a kind voice. There's nothing wrong with reaching out when you need. I'll be there for you, and maybe you can be for me. With a kind voice, a few kind words, an open ear for when you need to be heard, a warm heart. We can make that choice to be a kind voice, a few kind words, an open ear for when you need to be heard, a warm heart. We can make that choice to be a kind voice, a kind voice, a kind voice.
Okay, I'd like to get back to talking about our Kind Voice volunteers because they're the ones who make our program go. And they come from everywhere. They come from Brooklyn and Alabama and Texas and Minnesota, California. The way our program is set up, geography is no obstacle. So someone living in Albuquerque, New Mexico could have just finished a good book, and they could be connected with a literature major who's a book enthusiast who lives in Portland, Oregon. Or a sports fan living in Pittsburgh, PA can be connected with a fellow sports fan living in Dallas, Texas. That shared passion for sports or movies or books can be a jumping off point for a bigger conversation, but it doesn't have to be. Because people feeling a bit alone may not want to have a big conversation about the grand meaning of life. They may just want to have a nice little conversation about the book they finished. Another cool thing about someone from Brooklyn talking with someone from Albuquerque is that the two of them don't have to worry about running into each other, so it creates a certain kind of freedom to be honest and express what's on your mind. Greg Corona, who performed and wrote the song you just listened to, lives in Colorado with its beautiful mountains. Mountains can have different access points, some very steep and not so accessible, others more accessible. Calling a depression hotline or reaching out to a counselor can be a very steep entry point for some people. And it's not the right entry point for other people, as everyone feeling a bit alone is not necessarily depressed. However, calling a kind voice and talking about a good movie or book, or the challenges faced by your favorite sports team, creates an accessible trail that our callers and volunteers can walk down together. So the hope is that they'll leave the conversation feeling less alone and more connected and better able to deal with whatever issues they are facing in their lives. Our next song by Jackie Sander talks about the new kinds of strangers we meet along these trails.
Well, hello, fellow soldier. How's your day? Come take my arm, let's walk and sink away. I want to know your thoughts now, yes it's true. And that bluebird, he flew by now just for you. Just step outside, you don't know who you'll meet. Of the street, join the crowd and sing in harmony. I won't let go, come link elbows with me. But just know that I am there for you, to hear your voice, to care, to lend a hand. In this moment, we will work together and turn a new kind stranger to a friend. I'll walk down that lonely road alone, for a place to call home. The path is long, we cannot see the end, but the journey's so much better with a friend. Come to my house and rest those weary bones. We'll drink and laugh, we'll both refill our souls. Cup of cheer you're drinking sure tastes sweet. I'm glad that your acquaintance I did meet. Ooh, and just know that I am there for you, to hear your voice, to care, to lend a hand. In this moment, we'll work together to turn a new kind stranger to a friend. a friend, 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 friend.
So a key part of what we're doing at A Kind Voice is creating the wiring that connects these new kinds of strangers. A caller can be in a bit of a bad place, but then they have a conversation with a Kind Voice volunteer, and it might change their trajectory a little bit. An important opportunity here is to recognize that all those people who committed those tragic shootings we read about in the news didn't get to that place overnight. There was a sequence of events that took them to that place. And if we're able to go upstream and connect with that type of person earlier on to make them feel less isolated, more connected, then perhaps we could change their trajectory. It's difficult to know if a conversation with a person at the right time can change somebody's path, but by believing this is a possibility and trying to make our world a kinder place one conversation at a time gives us a positive way to respond to these tragedies that can make us feel helpless. If A Kind Voice existed alongside a stream, then we would exist upstream from groups like Alcoholics Anonymous and Depression Hotlines and other groups that help with much more difficult problems. There will be a trailhead nearby where many trails begin from. These trails lead to big, beautiful mountains of thought and are pleasant to walk down. Whether your conversations lead to the top of the mountain or not, they're just nice trails to walk down. For our little place at the side of the stream to fulfill its big mission of trying to make the world a kinder, more connected place, one conversation at a time, lots of folks have to believe that these trails exist and be willing to walk that belief, to call us, to have a conversation about big ideas or cinema or books or sports or music. After you've walked the trail and have seen for yourself it exists, then tell others about it. Share your thoughts via social media, or if you can connect with more established media outlets, please tell them about us. If you're a college student, we're looking for students to start Kind Voice chapters right on their own college campuses, because students can be far from home and under a lot of pressure. So having a Kind Voice available to talk with who's not a peer or a relative may be just the thing that is needed. I'd like to close with Hayden Kay's new duet, Coming Together. The video is a wonderful mix of the light and the smiles and the energy of kind voices coming together. It is sure to make you smile.
Feeling all alone in a desert place, wanting someone who understands, reaching for some hope, wondering what you'll find. No worries, my friend.
Share what's on your mind. In genuine conversation, let good energy flow. And feel a positive sensation. We're all in this life adventure, and all we need is kind voices coming together. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la.
Sharing your ideas with a friendly voice, creating a love of life that won't end, bringing forth experience and what you know. Call today, my friends.
Share what's on your mind. In genuine conversation, let good energy flow. And feel a positive sensation. We're all in this life adventure, and all we need is kind voices coming together. La 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 la, la 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 la. shine. In genuine conversation, let good energy flow. Feel a positive sensation. We're all in this life adventure, and all we need is kind voices coming together. Kind forces coming together.